Okay, I think I'm back. Maybe I'm back. I look like I'm back. I feel like I'm back. I hope I'm back. OBS is still telling me it's disconnected, but something's appearing on Twitch, so I'm gonna take a wild guess and say I'm fine. Really hope it's the case. But yeah, no, we're back. Welcome back. Welcome back. Look, I even got back to the same point in the cutscene. I had to
As you
reconnect.
have rather
Tap
belatedly
through.
realized, within that frail binding lurks an entity alike in strength to the great Bahamut, and the only force in existence which might conceivably contend with such a foe is the very creation which captured the Elder Primal in the first place. I speak, of course, of Omega.
It's gonna be real fun having to deal with multiple VODs, though. That'll be entertaining. One VOD's only gonna be like half an hour long.
Omega? That hulk has been gathering dust beneath the plains of Carter now since the Allagans breathed their last. And none alive knows how to wake it.
I'm sorry? Do you understand who it is with whom you have the privilege of speaking? I'm Nero Tolskeva, Master Engineer, the mechanical genius who restored the Ultima weapon to full operational capacity. And as luck would have it, I'm graciously offering you the use of my considerable expertise.
And what, you just expect us to accept? You're a fool if you think your deeds at the Crystal Tower are enough to win my trust, Nero.
Isn't Nero such a cool guy? Don't you just love Nero?
Trust? You wound me, Garland. All those years studying side by side at the academy, sharing both trial and triumph, we were countrymen once, you and I. But sentiment aside, have you a better solution? Or do you mean to send in your vaunted hero there, as you always do, and pray the world is not engulfed in flame?
I'm sure it'd work out. It usually works out. I like plot armor and shit, man.
Let us approach the problem in a rational manner. Does not the fact that Omega slumbers in stasis point to the existence of some overriding technology? A means of control?
I would ask a question, if I may. Nero, was it not? In the event that we succeeded in using Omega to shackle the Primal in the manner you propose, what then would become of it? Do we not risk repeating the mistakes of the Allagans?
Omega is but a tool. How we choose to employ that tool is entirely up to us. Of course, if you would rather leave it buried beneath Cartano while you continue your petty squabbles above, then I suppose that is also your choice.
Spare us, Nero. The Seedseer's concern is a valid one. He who controls Omega wields the power of the gods, the very power which led the Allagans to destroy themselves.
That's only partially accurate.
And does it not fall to we engineers to prevent such misuse? What was your company's proud slogan? Freedom through technology?
A creed you follow, is it? What say you? Do we take this villain at his word?
I don't think we have very much other choice. I'm gonna go with this one. I wish I had a middle option of we really don't have any other options here. I can't literally fly. I can just jump pretty high.
He makes me grind my teeth is what he does. But I suppose we don't have much of a choice.
See, Sid gets it.
Would the Council be willing to entrust this matter to a pair of former Imperials?
Yes. The task of restoring the Allagan relic will be yours. But the responsibility for its reawakening must remain with the Council. Do we condone this course of action?
Aye. It would seem we do. Let the record show that we invest this contingent with the authority to enter Carteneau and take command of Omega. Cid, I appoint you leader of the expedition. Scions, I would ask that you assign
so it
some
took
few
you a
of your
minute, but you
number
got
to
there.
escort Master Garland. And
Oh, shit.
We should be happy to oblige. The politics of Carteneau being what they are, I dare say our neutrality will prove useful in avoiding any unnecessary entanglements.
If I am not mistaken, Doma occupies a similarly neutral position. Might we not persuade you to join the expedition, Lady Yugiri? If you suspected any foul play from Nero, you would be welcome to kill him.
Gotta love Alizé, man.
My blade is yours.
Not a moment's hesitation, eh? You'll forgive me if I do not shake your hand.
What the fuck is happening in Novice Network, man? Holy shit. Well, that was a rather unexpected development, and one which raises a number of questions, not least among them how Nero chanced to learn of the council meeting in the first place. Just, peek around. Yeah, no, that looks good. Sick. Let's go. Sid and the others are assembling at the airship landing. Alizé is already on her way, and it would not do to lag too far behind. Let us be off. See, you walk. I use the Ethernet. You're not the same. Until Alphino, ready to go? The others have stepped out onto the landing for a moment, lest you wonder. Nero insisted that he be allowed to inspect the Excelsior before boarding. You let him, despite his very timely offer of assistance. The thought of that man poking about in the workings of the ship without proper supervision does not fill me with confidence. Calm yourself, Alphino. Your sister was adamant that he would never leave her sight. She and Yugiri are, well, here they are now. Right, I think that's everyone. Shall we set course for Carteneau? I'm going to ask that we delay our departure slightly. I require no more than a few hours at most. Our colleagues are studying the cocoon even as we speak, and I would hear their latest observations ere we proceed. It would seem wise to gain as clear an understanding of the situation as possible before formulating our plan. Oh, I thought time was against us. How foolish of me. Hold your tongue. When we want your opinion, we'll ask for it. Forgive me, my lady. I shall keep my counsel until such time as you have finished procrastinating. All right. While Alphino speaks with his colleagues, I shall fly the Excelsior over to Mordona, and we can reconvene at the Rising Stones. My apologies for the trouble. I shall visit you, Stroll, and the others forthwith, and join you as soon as I am able. Arentel, pray accompany Alizé back to the Rising Stones. I should feel safer knowing you are present to entertain our guest. Right, everyone heading to Mordona is welcome to travel aboard the Excelsior. I'll clear things with the girl at the counter here, but let her know when you're ready to leave. We're traveling with Master Garland, sir. The Enterprise Excelsior is right this way. Didn't get to stand on the ever so elusive launch deck. Sad. I think you only ever go can enter that area like once in the entire game, or no, like twice, because there's 2 times during the Garuda arc where you can go there. What manner of airship has no private cabins? Then again, I suppose Garland had to find somewhere to stow his half-baked inventions. I do not care for that man. Yet most people don't. Strange though it may seem, Nero's former loyalties do not trouble me, but I can see why people are loath to lower their guard around him. Not quite a door-to-door service, but I couldn't expect to land here in the Toll's main square. Shall we adjourn to the Rising Stones, then? I always found it a little weird that Revenant's Toll doesn't have an airship landing. Like, they could have put one, like, up around that area. We'd, like, sneak around a few buildings. Like, up in there. I don't get it. There's probably, like, some concern around, like, bloat, you know? Or like the thematic implications. I don't know. We must be careful, old friend. The walking weapons of Alag were expressly designed to subdue primals, but men like Gaius will always seek to use them against mankind. It falls to us to ensure that Omega is never employed as a weapon of war. In the wrong hands, it would be bad. One was created to capture Bahamut, and the other to surpass him. Which will prove the stronger, I wonder? Fear not, I shall keep a close eye on our new ally. I know Nero's a guest here, but we don't exactly have the happiest history with the Empire, do we? So my question to you is, do I offer him tea? Then go for it, why not? What's the worst that could happen? It's just tea. Boulder and his companions left to continue reconnaissance on the Beast Tribes. They were adamant about shouldering what burdens they could, while the senior scions were occupied with this cocoon emergency. Ah, the determination upon their faces. There is nothing more blinding than youth burning with purpose.
So these are the fabled headquarters of the Scions. I confess I would have expected an order of self-proclaimed warrior scholars to surround themselves with the fruits of man's enlightenment. And yet there's not so much as a single piece of magitech in sight. It never ceases to amaze me how primitive you Eorzeans truly are.
Oh, I'll have you know that the Rising Stones is home to the very latest in magitech innovation. Wedge calls it the Mark 14 Thermocoil Boil Master, and it's the finest kettle I've ever had the pleasure to own.
See, wait, that actually might not be it, because if she's actually using it, then why would it be there? Fair point. I wonder where it is. When do we see it?
We are returned.
I do not recall. Uh-oh. What are you? Wait a minute. Oh, that's what that is. Okay, I thought I just, like, murdered my entire fucking layout for a second. We're good. Everything's fine.
Well, Ida and I, at least. Ishtola and the others remain behind to continue their assessment of the binding magic.
There didn't seem much point staying just for that, so I decided to come back without
Everything's locked down.
Papalimo bought us this time. We shouldn't waste it.
By your leave!
Good gods, that voice could fell a gigas.
This is the Rising Stones, domicile of the Scions of the Seventh Dawn. I enter at the invitation of one Lord Urianger.
See, he doesn't pronounce CR.
I spy you there, Shadow Walker. You always were a hard one to find.
Yugiri, Do you know this man?
Evidently.
Gosetsu! Why are you come to Eorzea?
In search of you, Yugiri. For days and nights did I row across the angry sea. I made port in good spirits, only for my own flesh to betray me over the trifling matter of an empty belly. Collapsed in the street like an unfed stray I was, until Lord Urianger came to my aid. Over a most welcome meal, we spoke of the plight of Doma, and I learned of our displaced countrymen's work to resettle this blighted land. 'Twas blind fortune that I was able to locate you so swiftly, but now we must make ready to depart. Our master languishes in dire peril, and Doma calls her daughter home.
It is not so simple, Gosetsu. There are obligations which bind me here.
You refuse? Did you mislay your oath during your flight from our homeland? The laws of hospitality must be honored, but surely the vow to defend your master demands the greater obeisance.
It was our master who bid me guide our people to safe haven by any means necessary. And it was the scions you see before you who provided us succor and sanctuary when all others refused. Dire peril or no, were I to return without first repaying such hospitality, our master would cut me down at the threshold.
Mayhap that is so.
There is more. A crisis threatens all within this realm, Eorzean and Doman alike, and I go to play my part in its resolution. I will not bring shame upon our liege by abandoning my people or my duty.
How very noble of you. Now, in the name of honor, kinship, and, yes, practicality, might I suggest we get this expedition underway? Or would you rather debate the finer points of duty and leave Omega to the Empire?
The Empire? Yugiri? You draw steel against the curs of Garlemald?
Occasionally.
Then why did you not say so? My blade is oath-bound to fall upon the ranks of the Imperials wheresoever they march. Lead on, Shadow Walker, and may the enemy tremble at our coming.
I wonder if you can get Gosetsu's katana. I don't think you can get that model, and if you can, it's right in the fucking cash shop. Knowing my goddamn luck. Arntel, wait! Could I speak with you for a moment? Do you remember when I had you meet me at the Diamond Forge and we ambushed you? Well, once we had your measurements, I set to work making you a traveling outfit in my spare time. I've only just this moment finished the stitching, but I wanted you to have it before you left. Here. You can try it on now if you right now if you like. I hope I'm not forced to put it on. I hope this is just a cutscene glamour thing because I don't want to have to fish out the items. Thank God. I unironically use the pants for a decent number of glamours. Assuming we measured correctly, the fit should be just right. Snug, but not too snug. You know what I mean. So, how does it feel? You're not just saying that, are you? Oh, I can tell you how I can't tell you how much this means to me. To have crafted something worthy of the Warrior of Light it's well, let's just say it makes all the practice worthwhile. I also sewed in a blood pearl charm to, bring you home. May it always protect you. This didn't actually impose a glamour palette on me, did it? A, that'd be kind of neat. B, that'd be really annoying. Okay, it didn't. We're good. How dare he mock the Scions like that? If I ever had to sew a set of traveling clothes for him, I might just forget to take out the pins. Oh, I think he's going to fit right in. The Mark 14 Thermocoil Boilmaster, dear me, how risible must the previous 13 iterations have been. I could design a more efficient water heater in the time it took that ill-conceived lump to become lukewarm. Truly, I had no idea Domans could be so loud. He and Yugiri could hardly be more different. Just the two unexpected guests, then. Still, I suspect that each will prove useful in its own way. Or his moves, however. Never did I think to hear Gosetsu's voice echo through these halls. My blade shall carve a path through the Empire's ranks as a scythe fells stalks of wheat. So, we have to wake up Omega, right? When do we start? Yuta, are you sure that's... I'm sure, yes. I won't lie and say I'm completely fine, but I'll feel a lot better if I'm doing something useful. Very well. I will remain here and continue coordinating our efforts with the Alliance. Stola, whoa. Alphino, mayhap you could return to Garlemald and assist Stola and Kryl. A fine suggestion. The rest of us will form the Cartano Expedition Party. Nero and I will focus on rousing Omega, while Arentel, Yida, and our Domin friends will take care of security. The Excelsior is by the lake just outside town. We'll leave as soon as everyone is ready. Neat. Interesting mount deck. That will pop over there. Oh, this guy is like on the same path as me. Gosetsu is an accomplished swordsman. Should it come to battle, he will prove a staunch ally. Would that I could say the same for Nero. Soon, Omega, soon. I will see you again. Again? Again? Oh, I will see you rise again. Okay, I need to stop skipping words. Will this contraption truly bear us through the skies? Have you not seen airships, Gosetsu? I would think he would have seen them. I already read that. I think, maybe. I was a bit lost for a while back there, but I'll be fine, trust me. Alright, let's go. We haven't far to go, but with any luck, we'll be in Cardinal before Gosetsu graces the deck with his dinner. Once there, however, we had best be on our guard. Given that Eileen Royale was still active when Omega was discovered, we can be sure that the Empire has long been aware of its existence. And if Nero deemed it the obvious solution to the threat posed by this new primal, it is not impossible that Garlemald might do the same. Have your weapons ready and your wits about you. Something tells me we're flying into a fight.
Now, where was that? Ah! I've enabled the teleporter. One brief jump and we shall arrive in Omega's control room.
How convenient. You've been here before.
Of course. It was no easy task threading a path through all the skirmishes. But how could I ignore the existence of such a fascinating toy? You may trust that my preliminary examination was suitably thorough.
Trust? Aye. I trust your appetite for technology.
I chased down a suspect airship, and who should I find but the traitor, Sid Garland.
People will fight.
Searching for something, engineer? Something big? It's close, isn't it? It's like all my name days have come at once.
For all the scouts the Empire could have sent. Take care of that brute, will you?
God damn it. Can't let Nero tinker around in there by himself. I'm sorry to leave you to it, but I dare say you'll manage without me. This clod has no idea who he's dealing with.
Truly. Truly, truly.
I am Gosetsu, Samurai of Doma. You will rue your choice of opponent this day. Tis my right to strike!
This one'll sting.
Oh, I fuck up.
Leave this to me.
Look upon a samurai of Doma!
Why is it taking you so long to cast Death Blossom? That is literally a skill.
No retreat. No surrender.
With soul and steel!
No holding back.
Surrender, we have you outnumbered. Yeah, kind of winning though. And we've been outnumbered for a while. Wouldn't be the first time. You're still playing with those soldiers. I suppose I can lend you one of my toys, but only if you promise to give it back. This is the amount you can get. Only like $10.99 on the cash shop. Behold the Red Baron. Now end this nonsense. What the? No one told me they'd have magic tech armor. Forward for the Emperor. Empire. Emperor? Actually, I want to check this. The Empire. The honorless Curs thinks to abandon his men. I shall see that he shares their fate. Pray tend to the rest of his minions.
You watching, Cavaliero?
soul and steel!
That button
This one'll sting. Your defense is nothing.
I have you!
This mission is vaguely difficult.
No holding back.
Not because you can die, but because all of your allies are made not. They can die. They can die.
I like to strike!
Listen, I don't think I failed this my first time. I just got like close.
It's all over now. No retreat. No surrender.
Look upon a samurai of Doma!
We stopped flying.
You watching, Pavanimo?
Hey, we're not. Probably.
Leave this to me.
Okay, and now we're just beat him up.
With soul and steel!
This one'll sting.
Or die. It really does kill before I need to. There is no limit.
Your defense is nothing.
We done? I think we're done.
Temporal stasis disengaged. All systems operational. Garland?
All clear on this side. It's waking up.
Remarkable. Omega sensors immediately detected the presence of the cocoon, even at this distance. They must have been set to scan for sources of energy exceeding certain magnitudes.
I still don't see any means to control the machine directly. It seems to have been designed to act wholly autonomously. Once we release Omega, we can be fairly certain it will attempt to capture the Primal at Belsar's Wall. Assuming its mission is successful, our only option at that point will be to re-engage its stasis system and put it back to sleep.
And should the machine happen to misbehave, we'll simply initiate an emergency shutdown. I confess we don't yet have a complete grasp of its capabilities, but I'm certain the details will not elude us for long.
What's the worst that can happen?
Well, I
Nothing
understood less
bad
than half
can
of
happen.
that. So, my question to you is, are we doing the right thing?
Is there any other way?
I suppose not.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, you know, just throwing me at it is still an option. They'll probably work out. Probably.
All right. Step aside, Sid. Is this the thing I need to press?
Yeah, the massive red button? Yeah, probably.
Yes, that's the one.
You gave too much for us to waste this chance, Papalimo. So this is for you. And me.
Really cool cutscene inbound.
Yes! Fly free, my pretty! Show us what you can do.
Fucking chill out, Nero. Holy fuck. Your rocks off with something else.
The launch sequence has begun. Omega is loose.
Very cool cutscene. Quality shit. It's probably one of the best cutscenes in the game that isn't like expanded from the trailer opening or something.
And what does this signify? I have little understanding of these contrivances.
The launch went exactly to plan, but all signals emanating from Omega have ceased. This may indicate any number of things, but we will need to join the Scions out in the field if we are to ascertain which one.
Right. I've ordered a malfunctioning beast to go to sleep. That should prevent any unfortunate mishaps. I suggest we make our way back to Gridania.
Omega destroyed the cocoon.
I think the dragon did that.
Papalimo's spell is fading.
And then he
It was
just,
bound to his ether,
you know,
you see.
kind of accelerated it.
And
Shit. So my connection be broken. Yeah. Tattoo's gone. That's kind of weird. I thought Yida was an Archon. I'm not sure why we lost contact with Omega, but I mean to find out. Let's be on our way. I came as soon as I heard the Excelsior had been spotted on its approach. Don't target Alphino again. Game. One moment, everything was functioning perfectly, and the next, it wasn't. It makes no sense. We need to see what happened for ourselves, and soon. Alphino looks like he has news for us. I almost tried to ask. Words can ill express how glad I am to see you all unharmed. When Omega came hurtling towards the cocoon, everything dissolved into chaos. I have to see it. I have to see it with my own eyes. You need to wait. We must first. The Elder Seats here is expecting us. Reina Alphino, Gosetsu and I will watch over her. You may safely attend your meeting. My thanks, Yugiri. The council reconvened a short while ago. Let us make haste for the Lotus Stand. All there are eager to hear your testimony. I think. Oh no, this is Lotus Stand. No, the fastest option is just use Aetheryte. A little bit of a shame there, like, isn't one in the Adventurers Guild. I kind of get it. It's like it's not exactly a far walk, but it certainly sets Gridania apart from the other options. Conjurer's Guild. There we go. Interesting. Okay, yeah, very interesting. Cool. Neat. Another calamity averted, eh? How many times now have you and yours hauled us back from the brink? It would seem Garland's little friend was as good as his word. Had I not instructed you to throw Nidhogg's cursed eyes into the abyss, all of this might have been avoided. I thought them beyond reach. As did we all, to be fair. My friends, full eagerly have we awaited your return. Few indeed could have discharged the duty entrusted to you, and most humbly do we thank you for seeing it done. You are too kind, Elder Seer. As I recall, we as good as demanded the right to try. But tell me, how did the battle unfold? We succeeded in waking Omega Eye, but we lost contact with the weapon shortly after it launched. From our position in the control room, we were blind to all that followed. What words could do justice to the scene? None of my choosing, that much is certain, but I can give you the facts. The cocoon hatched even as Omega arrived, and from its midst rose a great dragon. The pair duly sat about each other in the skies above Giribania. The primal's might defied belief. It seemed the very heavens would rent asunder. The very heavens would be rent asunder by the force of its blows, and it wielded such magics as I have never seen and hope never to see again. The battle raged on with no end in sight until both combatants were engulfed in a blinding flash of light. When the radiance faded, I saw the pair fall motionless from the sky, coming to rest somewhere on Alamegan's soil. I will not speak for the rest, but to my eye it seemed that each had landed a fatal blow upon the other. While most among us could think only of Bahamut when looking upon the primal's form, the Domans were heard to whisper the name Shinryu. It would appear that the being resembles a creature of Far Eastern legend, and we have found it convenient to refer to it as such. This Shinryu's fate, and indeed that of Omega, is yet unknown. We have alas no eyes on the Giribanian side of the border. Aye, which is why we have sent our main force under the command of Marshal Terrapin to capture the wall. With the Imperials in disarray, we have the perfect opportunity to secure Gridania's border and assess the aftermath of the impact. I myself will join the Marshal and his men when the Council is adjourned. Well, that explains a few things. I'll wager that flash of light coincided with our loss of contact. Lest you wonder, we quickly re-engaged Omega's stasis systems, so even if it has fallen into the Emperor's lap, it will be of no use to them, save perhaps as a statue. Correct. Without me to guide their efforts, it would take them decades to decipher Omega's core functions, if they managed it at all. Such reassurances do much to calm our fears, yet the relic's fate is but one of several concerns. Indeed, I humbly submit that the time has come for us to make contact with the Resistance representatives in Giribania. Though Ilbert has forced our hand, it would seem only logical to seek an alliance, given the inevitability of Imperial retaliation. And by working in concert, it is not impossible that Alamigo might finally be wrested from Garlemald's grasp. Very good. If, as seems likely, we put Omega into stasis after, what did they call it? Ah yes, Shinryu was defeated. We should have little to fear from either one of them. I should very much like to see this Shinryu creature for myself. When the primal emerged, I was for an instant transported back to Cartno, to the moment the Black Worm made an eighth hell of the battlefield. Gladly would I live out the rest of my days without seeing such a sight again. I go to oversee operations at Belsar's Wall. You have done your part. Leave us to handle the initial Imperial reprisal, and the rest while you may. Okay, oh, my brain. Pray accept my humblest and most earnest thanks once again, Warrior of Light. Had Shinryu been suffered to roam free, the Twelve's Wood would surely have been laid to waste. The operation to take the wall will be Ishgard's first military action under Alliance banners. Though I have no appetite for bloodshed, a part of me is glad to have the chance to begin reparations for our past in action. You must be exhausted. I would ordinarily suggest that we retire directly to the Rising Stones, but I wonder if we might first make a small detour. Yashola and the others have gathered at Amaryk's spire, and I imagine that you, too, would be interested to see what has become of the wall now the cocoon is gone. It is decided then. Lead on. To Bent Branch. No, it's Hawthorne. Bent Branch is the one in Central. Right? Yeah. Well, that was enlightening. I'm so glad I did that. Oh, thank the 12. After witnessing Omega's single-minded onslaught, I had visions of you being trapped between it and its target. Hardly the most rational concern, I concede, but if you had seen what I saw. No trace of the cocoon remains. 'Tis as if it never existed. Maybe don't say that around Yuta.
My friends, I cannot well express how glad I am to see you both unharmed. They say that Omega's clash with the Primal shook the very firmament.
You need not have worried. The battle took place far above the ground. We were able to observe in relative safety, though I'm given to understand that there were casualties on the far side of the wall.
It was like watching a nightmare unfold before our very eyes. Ilburd's primal manifested in the form of a colossal dragon, a being of pure violence. It burst forth from the cocoon with such terrible force.
That such a horror should spring from the eyes of Nidhogg comes as no surprise. Nor do I wonder at its form. Ilberd all but announced it in the moments prior to his death. Plainly, it was his dying wish to visit a second calamity upon the Empire.
And I am quite certain the abomination would have obliged had it not found itself outmatched by Omega. Gods! I am no stranger to the works of Alag, but even I was unprepared for the machine's furiosity. It beggared belief.
And how fares poor Ida in the midst of all this? Have you spoken with her?
She's up on the platform, lost in thought. We deemed it best not to disturb her, but mayhaps she would welcome some company after all. Shall we?
The light's gone. It was all we had left of him.
Ida.
I don't blame anyone. I knew what was going to happen. I knew the spell Papalimo meant to cast would drain away his life force. I knew that it would only buy us a little time.
Ida, there is no need to explain.
But there is. I can't hide in Papalimo's little shadow anymore, and I shouldn't hide behind my sister's mask. 20 years ago, on the day the Empire marched into Alamigo, I was still just a child, not even 5 summers old. My father had been one of the leaders of the revolution. He had fought to overthrow the Mad King, Theodoric. And my sister had fought alongside him. But she was strong and kind, and always knew what to do. But when the Garleans came, everything changed. My father went to war against them too. And I never saw him again. After that, I remember a lot of running. My sister dragged me for malms and malms until we came to the city of Charlian. That was where she met Master Louis Soir. He introduced her to the Circle of Knowing, and she eventually became an Archon.
She was your inspiration. Is that not why you took up her mask and her name? Or did you simply mean to continue what she had started?
You've known all along, haven't you? That I wasn't Ida.
Of course. We all recognized you at once. 'Twas Papalimo who persuaded us to maintain the charade.
It was silly to think I could fool you. I knew that even then, but I sort of decided not to know.
Uh-oh, I've drifted my mouse off the fucking window again. I'm tinkering with OBS. I don't even mean to be doing so.
Ida died 6 years ago, on a mission to smuggle refugees out of Alamigo. They say she was overwhelmed by Imperial soldiers when she stayed behind to save a little girl. She was so strong. There must have been a lot of them.
One of the very few times I'll choose the silence option.
I'm sorry for lying to you. My real name is Lise. When Papalimo brought me Ida's mask, it was meant as a keepsake, but I decided I wanted to be his new partner, to keep alive all the good that she had done. I didn't want to become Ida, exactly. At the time, though, I still didn't know who I was myself, and it almost seemed easier to play the role. Papalimo agreed to help, of course, but it was never what he wanted for me. He wanted me to walk my own path, and those were his final words to me. The Archon's mark he gave me is faded, and my last excuse along with it. So this is it. Whatever I choose to do from now on, I do as Lise. And I choose to continue my family's fight. I want Alamigo to be the country that Ida and my father always wanted it to be.
War is upon us once more.
Do you regret standing against the Empire? Would you have chosen a different road, knowing what you know now?
To claim that I never doubted the decision would be a lie. But I made my choice, and I have defended it with blade in hand ever since.
The battle continues, and our steel is needed. Come, Shadow Walker, we leave for the east, for Doma.
Not going on land, are you? That's not exactly. It's doable technically, but like you gotta pass through like most of like Ilsbard, all of Girpania, most of Ilsbard. You gotta go through like either Damaska or the Burn. It's a long fucking road. It was brave of Lise to remove her mask after so long. Though she has scarce begun to come to terms with Papalimo's loss, that one act made plain her determination to move forward. And should she ever falter, we shall be there to support her on this road she has resolved to walk. Let us return to the Rising Stones. We have quite a story to tell to Taru and my sister. a dragon song appears, but I believe this is the official transition into Storm's Blood. Here is the final credit sequence of Heavensward. And, it'd be unwise. It'd be really unwise to take my break while this is fucking playing in the background. But yeah, good shit. I want the I want Dragon Song playing on my stream for as little time as possible. It didn't get muted last time, but I have no faith in anything. I've heard horror stories, but I'm back in like 5 minutes. I'm gonna get myself a nice cup of coffee. I'm gonna walk around, and then I'll be back, and we will go through at least a little bit of Storm's Blood. I can't guarantee exactly how far I'll be going, but I'll be getting. Actually, yeah, I'll be continuing. Yeah, whatever. So, be back very shortly, like 5-10 minutes, and I will see you then. I am back. More or less, anyway. Okay, there we go. So let us wrap up Heaven's Word. You should have seen the look on Tataru's face when I recounted Lisa's. I realized in retrospect that I should perhaps have waited for you to return. I also told Alize, apologies. Hey, you're not Flamine. Lady Flamine, I sent her outside to enjoy a quiet cup of tea, which has happened these past moons, and we can all use rest every now and again. Okay, well, that begs a question that I must find the answer to. Though it might be simpler to surrender to despair, I have chosen to resume my studies in the arcane. I received much wisdom from Papalymo, and I would put his advice into practice. My sister has the most curious idea about courtship. A fine showing, brother, but you have yet to outpace Honor. Should the Archons be called away to Giribania, Huff, it will fall to us to deal with the Scion's usual obligations, and thus, Puff, we must remain in peak condition. I made a fool of myself, Huff, on our last mission, but I will show him what I'm made of. Come now, Hori, is that the best you've got? Oh, we got Ariel and Tataru. Things are heating up in Alamigo, but we can't afford to lose track of the troubles what might be brewing on the rest of the realm. Don't you worry, though. I'll be keeping an ear to the ground, my nose in the air, and an eye on the horizon. Don't forget Tataru. Did you know what? I mean, Elise, I had no idea. We only met after the calamity, and her sister might already have been, well, you know. Oof. Back in the Far East, we treat back pain with a long soak in a hot spring. What say you to a short journey, Isildur? I am told the waters at Camp Bronze Lake are famous for their healing properties. At last I was able to rise from my sickbed, but the pain when I tried to take up my axe. What a sad old man I've become. Pat. Okay, I have to go see if Flamine's actually out in the Rising Revenant Soul somewhere. I'm curious. She's not in the main room. I do suspect where she is, though. If she is, she may not be. I won't be upset or nothing if she isn't. Oh, she is up here. Unless this is spoilers, Flamine. Revenant's Toll has expanded so quickly. My, how the days do roll past while our minds are focused on other things. That probably wasn't spoilers, Fleming. We're probably fine. He may have mentioned, but Alphino has appraised me of all that came to pass in Gridania. Your only task now is to rest. This is the calm before the storm. Lisa's chosen her path, and as her friends, we must do what we can to support that choice. We are fated to join. God. Sorry. We are fated to join the conflict in any case. Once the Alliance has taken the wall and opened the way to Giribania, we will have little choice but to fight. Which is not to say the cause is unworthy. After all, ignoring the plight of those whom one might conceivably save is not wisdom, but indolence. Correct? I, for one, look forward to joining hands with the Alamegans and striking a blow against the tyranny of the Empire, as I rather suspect do you. Now, please go do the Crystal Tower Raid series. You know, I was cut off at the end of Storm's Blood. That's when I was forced to do the Crystal Tower series. Quick march! The Imperials will soon come to their senses, and we must be ready to face their retribution. It is almost time, Father. I Almost. Stand firm, Pippin. I've learned to brace myself against the charge of the Bull of Alamigo. No foe will dislodge me. Very well, Ilberd. I will take our homeland back. For the both of us. Who might this be? My Lord Viceroy, our scouts have confirmed the preliminary reports. Belsar's Wall has fallen to the Eorzean Alliance. The hunt for Omega and the unknown icon continues, though both yet elude us. My lord, their battle caused considerable damage across the region. Should we perchance divert some of our forces from the search to undertake necessary reconstruction work? Forgive me, my lord. I did not intend. Your will be done. Unknown. My spies tell me the Domans call it Shinryu, that it proved a match for Omega. Yes, the coming days promise to be most interesting. Most interesting. At the far edge of fate, the road begins anew. The heroes look to the eastern skies and behold their crimson hue. A dawn of liberation, a gathering storm of blood. And that is the end of Heaven's Word. The entire thing. And I don't know what else to say, really. I started streaming at the very beginning of Heaven's Word, and I've done a lot since then. By a lot, I mean a whole, 3 other games? None of which I've gone very far with? I may have a problem. But no, it is a weird feeling to just kind of be out of that now. Well, out of that, and into something new. I won't be swapping job for quite a bit yet. I want to actually get my my boots in Alamigan soil before I do the first of what will be 3 job changes over the course of this expansion. Because I'll be a dragoon up until a point I have in my mind, and then I'll be a monk up until another point I have in my mind, and then I'll be a samurai until the start of Shadowbringers. And then I'll be a samurai for a little bit into Shadowbringers, and you know, the theme continues, right? I wonder if these guys have anything new. Probably not. Nope. Did not think so. Not surprised. If all proceeds to plan, we should soon be receiving word that Alliance forces have secured Belsar's Wall. Until then, however, we can but ensure we are ready to move the moment we hear news.
question is, how will the Empire respond to the disappearance of Omega and the Primal?
I imagine by
I
trying
can
to
see Forgive me.
undisappear them.
Word from Baelsar's wall is proving long in the coming, and my mind cannot help but stray to grim places.
Alphino, a message from the Alliance.
Hey,
It's about time. Pray summon the others at once.
Yes, sir.
General Uldin reports that his forces have secured the breach in Baelsar's wall.
And what of the Primal and Omega?
There is still no sign of either at this time. He writes that they will begin a more thorough investigation shortly. And, as expected, he wishes to petition the aid of the Scions of the Seventh Dawn.
As expected.
The Alliance's decision to capture a part of Baelsar's wall is open to interpretation.
The wall serves to demarcate Imperial territory, Alamigo included, from the rest of Eorzea. To an observer, the Alliance's actions could be seen as a prelude to invasion.
Indeed. And the Alliance leaders have no wish to be branded invaders.
You're saying they won't fight for Alamigo? Even after everything that's happened?
Not without the consent of her people, no. Make no mistake, Lys. The Alliance is in complete agreement that the Empire must be purged from Eorzea. However, they will not set foot in Gyr Abania until they have formally secured the consent and cooperation of the Alamigan opposition.
They would have us act as intermediaries.
Precisely. The Scions are uniquely qualified to serve in this capacity. That is to say, Lys's, given her personal connection to the Resistance. Who better than you to broker an agreement between the Alliance and the people of Alamigo? Assuming you are willing, of course.
Of course I am. You know I'd like nothing more.
As for who should accompany you on said diplomatic mission, I had a mind to volunteer myself.
Well, that covers the talking part. But you just know there'll be trouble along the way. Are you available?
Yeah, I got my raids squared away at the start, so we're good.
Thanks. It means a lot knowing you'll be there.
I too shall accompany you. Such endeavors are seldom hampered by a surfeit of healers.
Good point. Allow me to offer my services as well.
I have spent quite enough time here of late, so I'll be coming. But we will need someone to keep an eye on things. I trust you have no objections?
None, my lady. Gladly shall I continue to serve as caretaker of the Waking Sands, and there keep watch for signs of primal and Ascian activity both.
As capable as my learned friend undoubtedly is, there are some troubles that may prove too much for a single scion, on account of which I mean to stay.
It is settled then. Let us each see to our preparations.
In a perfect world, I will keep this stream going until I reach the class change. Don't really intend on going too long tonight. I didn't get my pre-stream nap, so I'm a little out of it, to be perfectly honest. You remember Minago, don't you? The messenger who brought word of the Griffins back on Baelsar's wall. Well, she left not long ago, having made a full recovery. If you see her in Gyr Abania, be sure to send my love. So it's finally happening. Don't tell anyone, but I'm feeling a little bit nervous. Only a little bit, mind, but I'll be fine. I'll be fine once we get going. Hopefully.
Ready, my friend?
Hell yeah. Monk is going to be annoying, because with Monk I am going to have to actually just fully hide the headpiece.
I leave the rising stones in your capable hands.
Don't worry, Alphino. I'll see that the place is still standing when you come back.
Although, Monk is the only one I'm going to have to do that with, because every other glamour I have lined up for the other classes I end up playing as has the important elements of the face exposed. Maybe I'll have to hide Samurai's
Mistress
hat.
Y'shtola has unfolded all. You are bound for Girabania?
Aye. The Alliance would have us make contact with the Alamegan resistance as soon as possible.
It begins then. As soon it shall in Doma, if the gods are good. 'Tis but a pity it must be now. I am sorry that we shall not be present to fight beside you in the battles to come.
You have stood with us countless times, Lady Yugiri. Pray do not apologize.
Then let us thank you instead. You and yours stood with us from the first, when we came to this land as refugees in search of sanctuary. Loath am I to think what might have become of my people, had you not extended to us the hand of friendship. We will never forget. This I solemnly swear.
Much has changed since first you set foot on these shores. Revenant's Toll stands as a testament to that. I'm sure your people will manage in your absence.
Indeed. They have built a new home for themselves and no longer need me to shepherd them. The time has come for Kosetsu and I to return to our master, to our home. I know how you feel. It's time I went home too.
Though our battlefields be 1,000 mounds apart, our purpose is one. Let all men hearken to the clarion call of freedom, of liberation, from Eorzea to the far east, that they may rise up and cast down the curse of Garlemald.
Take care, you hear me? When all of this is over, we're going to celebrate, together. Just you wait.
I should like that very much. Fare you well.
1,000 malms apart, yet you united in purpose. Let us pray both our endeavors meet with success. Shall we then? Wait, not just yet. I knew I'd forgotten something important. Lise, could you come with me? Me? What now? Alright, if you insist. And as of now, I don't think anyone wears the Scions logo anymore. Maybe Urianger still does, but I don't think anyone else does. I think everyone else has gotten a costume change, and because of the costume change, they no longer have the logo. What do you think? As you can see, I designed it to be light and loose, an outfit tailor-made to the needs of a skilled fighter like Lise. Your work never ceases to impress. Much more of this, and I may have to stop introducing you as the Scion's receptionist and start referring to you as our preeminent seamstress. It's lovely, Tataru. Thank you. I feel like I could take on a legion. I'm glad you like it. And with that, I'll delay you no longer. Safe travels. Then onward to Giribania. Our first stop will be, yep, that spire. That spire's name I can totally pronounce, I swear. In the East Shroud. Yeah, I'm gonna go to Hawthorne Hut. My brain is currently operating at about half of peak efficiency. And then I'm going to log out. I'm going to take you all with me. Because something I forgot to do immediately is I have to play this. You know, keeping with the plan more so than tradition. I can say tradition for Shadowbringers. Twice is not tradition. Errant choco sounds. This is one of the coolest shots in the entire thing. Well, one of the best shots in like any of the cinematics, in my opinion. I don't know. It has a very specific aesthetic that I enjoy. It's like, as I was watching that, I was like actually trying to think of like how would I rank the openings, and just like I very quickly came to the conclusion that I cannot in good faith rank them. I think they're all just amazing in such a way and to such a degree that I can't like comfortably say, oh yeah, this one's my favorite, because like Answers is just perfect. Answers is like perfect in every way. It's so well done. It's amazing. But then the Heavensward Traveler like perfectly encapsulates like the vibe of you having to run away, and it very artfully kind of hints at the man and dragon dynamic, and it's very good. You got the Storm's Blood one, and like fucking look at it, it's amazing. The choreography's great, the fights are fun. It's a really good time and properly introduces you to like a lot of the like locations you're going to be going to, and in stunning detail. It looks amazing. And then Shadowbringers and Endwalker are also great, but I obviously can't go into any level of detail for them. They're both amazing. If anything, I might, as much as I like Endwalker's cinematic, I would probably put Endwalker's cinematic like low on the list. It looks nice and it's well produced, but I don't know, it just doesn't have the same gravitas. Just, despite how it's like how its subject matter should like inherently carry more of it. I might change my mind when I watch it again. Who knows? All are present and accounted for. When you are ready, my friend, pray and inform the officer, and we wish to proceed into Girabania. Hello, Fate music. I'm so glad you're here. Ah, the signs of the seventh dawn. You were told to expect you. Shall I summon someone to escort you to the wall? Yes, please get me away from this Fate. Jesus Christ. Come on. There we go. I kind of hope that part of the 7.0 graphics updates is like upping the texture quality on that map.
Standing in Girabania,
upping texture quality kind of in general in a lot of places, to be honest.
Scions, the warrior of light among us. Behind us, Baelsar's wall cutting the land in two. Freedom on one side, tyranny on the other. Tyranny and the promise of a new beginning. But one that could only be bought with flames and blood.
Okay, well, let us be off. Quite an atmosphere here, isn't it? Everyone seems to be on pins and needles, though one can hardly blame them, given recent events. Don't target Carl again, goddammit. The Alliance has done well to repurpose these Imperial facilities for their own use so quickly. The general's in high spirits, don't you think? I know the feeling. To see the colors of so many nations, Limsa, Lominsa, Gridania, Ul'dah, and now Ishgard, well nigh brings a tear to my eye. We have much to be proud of, Arentel. So this is East End. Not too different from the rest of the Shroud, is it? Though, truth be told, I'm not sure why I thought it would be. Greetings, Scions. On behalf of the Eorzean Alliance, I welcome you to Castrum Oriens. Thank you, General. We were relieved to hear that your forces secured the wall without incident. Have the Imperials made any attempts to retake the Castrum since then? None. Save for a few skirmishes between our scouts and their patrols, we've had barely any contact with them. But we all know it's only a matter of time before things escalate. As if attacking Belsar's wall wasn't enough, Ilberd summoned a primal right on their doorstep, and Garland Maul does not like to let such shows of defiance go unanswered. 'Twas a declaration of war, even if it was not Ilberd's to make, and now we are bound by it, for weal or for woe. The Scions stand ready to serve, General. What would you ask of us? As stated in my message, the Alliance will not proceed with the support and cooperation without the support and cooperation of the Alamegan people. We would have you serve as our emissaries and make contact with the resistance. Consider it done, General. We won't let you down. Then I'll leave it to you. Godspeed. Of all the Castor in the world, you walk into mine. Master Garland, what brings you here? A certain missing elegant weapon and draconic primal. Omega and Shinryu, I think the shinobi called it. Anyway, we've been studying their trail of destruction, hoping it might lead us somewhere, which it has singularly failed to do. Then, 'tis like Omega fell to Earth in occupied territory, meaning it may already be in Imperial hands. Even so, it bears repeating that we engaged the stasis system. Assuming the command was received and executed successfully, the weapon will be of no use to them. Assuming, we should hurry up and find out regardless. All the more reason to reach out to the resistance. If we want to press on into Girabania, we'll need their blessing. Everyone's counting on us. Let's not waste any more time talking. I do hope you're not thinking about running off to help Master Garland. It is not your duty to solve all the world's problems, you know. Were Omega not a threat to us all, its effectiveness in subduing draconic foes would seem almost admirable. But such weapons are doomed to be misused. Let us pray we never have need of its services again. The bridge over the Velodina River has always held great strategic importance. Hence the Garlean's decision to transform it into a fortified installation. Needless to say, we'll not be crossing there. If anyone can determine the fate of Shinryu and Omega, it's Master Garland. For now, let us remain focused on our current mission. Keep to the north and cross upstream. The Black Bridge belongs to the Garleans, for now. As you've probably heard, there are plenty of factions in the resistance, so I'm taking us to see the one with the most influence. Their headquarters are located in a place called Relger's Reach, an old temple to the east of here, across the Velodina River. I learned a route that should allow us to avoid Imperial patrols. Stick with me, and we'll be there before you know it. I'm going to be getting to the point sooner than I thought. I got the fucking hippo card again. Stream summons it, not else. I never get this when I'm just doing my bullshit off stream. At the risk of upsetting the cartographic fraternity, I can't help observing that East End depends entirely on one's perspective. I mean, people don't even think of it as Gridania anymore, do they? It's so quiet, almost as though the Imperials have been here for some time. Or haven't been here for some time. On your guard. The Imperials know these lands better than we. They call it East End because it marks the end of the Black Shroud. Note the sparser vegetation. Very apt, Alphino. Still with me? Good. From here, we'll head northeast towards the river. The water's not too deep, so we won't have to swim. A fjord. See, brother, nothing to worry about. Though no one would blame you for donning your buoyancy aids just in case. Is he actually like? Well, at a glance, it certainly seems shallow enough. We should not linger out here in the open. Yashoa's right. We need to cross before the Imperials spot us. I don't see any soldiers. Good, let's cross. Alphino gone. GG. You're wondering about the tower to the south. It's part of Castrum Velodina. That's what the Imperials decided to call the old bridge after they'd fortified it. I call it a great big eyesore. Honestly, you can see that rotten banner from absolute miles away. Sigh. Well, they never miss a chance to rub our noses in it, do they? Come on, we should keep moving. Are we there yet? Oh, that's outstanding. So the reach lies beyond, but I do not see a path. And we didn't run afoul of even a single patrol. What a pleasant surprise! In that there were no surprises. At least did well. It is reassuring. Okay. I will never get the opportunity. Oh, yeah. There's no path here. That's neat. Nice little bit of instanced interaction. We're here on the other side of this pass is Walger's Reach. So you say, but all I see are rocks. I presume there's some sort of trick to this. Indeed, a glamour. Good eye, Shola. Shola's blind. It's very rude. I take it they have a talented mage in their ranks, or mayhap an artificer trained in the modification of glamour prisms. Something like that. The important thing is that it fools the Garleans. Oh, before we go in, I don't know if Totaro told you, but my friend Nago, the messenger who came to the Rising Stones, is a member of this faction. So they know us, and they shouldn't attack us on sight. That said, they can be a bit jumpy, so let me lead the way. And don't go reaching for your weapons or anything. And with a sprinkle of demasking dust, all is laid bare. I suppose you could disguise almost anything with a glamour prism, if you really wanted to. Have you ever used one? Why am I asking? Of course you haven't. Yes. Yeah, no. Zero glamours in use presently. Seeing it now, I feel rather foolish for not having deduced it earlier. Let us pray that they are amenable to our proposal. United we stand to accomplish so much more. Impressive or no, 20 years is a long time for even so complex a glamour to escape the Empire's notice. All's clear, let's go.
I remember the old stories, how the breaker of worlds came down from on high and cleft the earth with a single blow. Ralga's Reach, a holy place and a fitting home for the resistance, for the brave and the true, the loyal sons and daughters of Alamigo. They were waiting for us there, men and women whose souls still cried out for what was lost, for what could be ours again.
Oh god, it's a lot of fucking people. It is hard to feel at ease with a giant statue looking down on you. This temple was once home to the fist of Ralgar, as I recall. Yes, there is no mistaking that statue. Ordinarily, I'd shudder at the thought of armed rebels trampling about in an ancient temple of immense historical importance, but Ralgar is the breaker of worlds, so I suppose it so it seems rather appropriate, if anything. Fascinating. A massive, nigh imperceptible glamour encompassing the entire valley. I see now how the settlement was able to escape the watchful eyes of Imperial airships. It's good to see Nago up and moving again. I wasn't sure. I wasn't there when she headed home, so I naturally assumed she left too soon. Always overdoing it, that one. Oh, so you really came. I never thought I'd see you again here, but I'm glad. I'm glad. I'm glad. A pleasure to see you again, and Kryl and Nistrola, without whose help I might not be standing here today, at least not so soon. You'll forgive us our precautions, but we couldn't be sure who had crossed the barrier. We see you now for who you are, though, the Scions of the Seventh Dawn. Now I know you would not have come all this way unless you had something important to discuss, and I'm eager to hear what it is you have to say. But let's not do this on the doorstep. Come with me. Oh yeah, you can't fly in certain areas you can mount in. Idleshire is the exact same way. It's honestly a little strange. I think part of it is like a desperate attempt to maintain the illusion of scale, because like that statue is meant to be fucking massive, but it's from like a gameplay perspective, it can't be, either because the map would have to be so massive that it would be really annoying moving around, or it would look off. When we first met back in the Shroud, I took you for just another adventurer, but by Ralgar, I still can't believe how far you've come. We plan we plan operations here when we're not entertaining important guests like yourselves.
Allow me to welcome you once more to Ralgar's Reach, our humble headquarters. My name is Conrad Kemp, and I have the dubious honor of overseeing operations here.
It is a pleasure to meet you, Master Kemp. I am Alphino Leveilleur, of the Scions of the Seventh Dawn, as are my comrades. Before I speak of our purpose here, pray allow me to thank you for sheltering Ida, forgive me, Lys, and Papalimo at great risk to yourselves.
No, there's no need for that. They risked their necks for us enough times. 'Twas the least we could do.
I wanted to, I mean, about the mask and...
Don't fret over that. You're not the first person to take up arms against the Empire under a false name. We'd do the same if we had any sense. My condolences for your loss, child.
Papalimo laid down his life to save us, to give us a chance to make a better future for ourselves. There will never be a better time to drive the Garleans from our lands. But we have to take the lead on this. We can't leave it to fanatics like Ilberd.
More than a few of our people were taken in by his promises. Followed him all the way to the wall. Good men and women who never came back. When Monargo told us what had happened, how the bastard had made sacrifices of them for his twisted ritual, by Ralgar it filled me with an unholy fury. But what's done is done. Best we can do now is see that it wasn't all in vain.
That is why we are here today, sir, to see that some good comes of this tragedy. On behalf of the Eorzean Alliance, we do hereby extend a formal offer of military assistance to the Alamegan resistance.
Do you now? Well, go on then. I'm sure there's more to it than that. So that's the way of it, eh? The Alliance, hoping to avoid a direct confrontation with the superior forces of the Empire, wishes to engage them by proxy with our vastly inferior ones. My comrades and I must confer on your proposal. A moment, if you please.
Of course, Master Kemp. Take all the time you require.
So these Gridanians are finally willing to fight, eh? We'll need to call the other senior members together before we can make a decision. To be honest, I already know I want us to work together, but we've still got to talk it over with everyone. It's not as though we have to stand around here indefinitely, do we? Papalimo and I weren't entirely honest with you. Though we were sheltered in Little Alamigo at first, we spent most of our time here, working with Conrad and his people. But you probably guessed that the moment I led you to the Reach, didn't you? So they would have us wait. Very well. I can't imagine that they would refuse. But if they did, I can feel my literacy slowly seeping away. So it would seem we find ourselves with a surfeit of free time. Forgive me. You are free to look around Ralgar's Reach. In fact, I would encourage you to do so. It'll give you a better grasp of our current circumstances. Thank you, Master Kemp. I believe we will do just that. Let us make the most of this opportunity and assess the Resistance's capabilities. Free to poke our noses wheresoever we will, eh? I like the sound of that. Well, I already know this place in and out. I can show you around if you like, Arntel. Why not? Great. Let's get started. I'll bet you think the Resistance is mostly made up of Almegan Highlanders like me, but the truth is that we don't even account for half. We've got Hellsguard from all the way over by the spine in here, and plenty of Seekers of the Sun like Nago. There's even some Beastmen, well, Beast women, I suppose, like the one over there. She's Ananta. They've been with us for a while now. Well, one of the smaller factions has. The rest won't have anything to do with us. We're no different from the Garleans to them. They keep to themselves, spending all their time crafting. Ananta make the most amazing jewelry, by the way. They use magics to twist metal and crystal into shapes you wouldn't believe. It's a pity people hardly ever get to see their work. But then most don't even know they exist. That's enough about them anyway. Let's take a closer look at the statue of Ralgar, shall we? Fitting time to be rolling all the dogs. How are you meant to get that one? Huh. Must be some kind of jumping puzzle or something I'm just not aware of. Pretty awe-inspiring, isn't it? The Breaker of Worlds who guided our ancestors to these lands all those centuries ago. Yida used to tell me the story on stormy nights. She wanted me to understand, to remember. At the end of the 5th Astral Era, when the waters rose higher and higher, people all across Eorzea beseeched the heavens for a sign. And lo, a burning star appeared in the eastern sky and led the way to these mountains of Girabania. They who were saved by his grace pledged to honor and revere him, to devote themselves to great works without and within. A storm of blood approaches fast. Hells open, heavens weep, but for no one soul doth lie beyond the measure of his reach. The last part was inscribed on this stone by a monk of the Fist of Ralgar. Yida explained it to me. A day will come, bringing strife and sorrow that none may escape. Waste not these precious hours, but in quiet preparation make strong the body and mind. I don't know if that storm of blood is finally upon us, but if it is, I have to believe that everything we've been through, everything that has led us to this point, will see us through in the end. Ah, sorry, that was a bit melodramatic, wasn't it? Let's keep moving, shall we? Off to the infirmary. This is the infirmary, as you can probably tell. Here is where the Resistance's healers patch up the wounded and tend to the sick. No matter how carefully we planned our operations, casualties were inevitable. It's a sad thing to think about, but it's also important to remember the cost, as Conrad would say. We should go. I'll show you the Aetheryte Plaza next. When you've seen one Aetheryte, you've seen them all, right? Not quite. This one's an older design, dating back decades to when the Fist of Rhalgr was still here. It may look a little different, but it works just as well as any other. I'll show you where the sutlers are next. But don't forget to attune to the Aetheryte before we go. Joke's on you, I've been attuned to this Aetheryte for over a year. There's also no one LA's. I wonder if I can find everyone else. I wonder if I have the patience to find everyone else. I don't think I do. Ah, excellent. They've no shortage of sutlers here. Should we have need of their services? I don't even know what that means. Hardly surprising. When there's war, there's profit to be had. Oh, it's like merchants. Okay, there. Arms, armor, potions, you name it, these folks have got it. The resistance would be in a bad way without brave merchants to keep it provisioned. If you're short on anything or you need something repaired, these are the people to speak to. Oh, Alphino and Alize are here. Well, why don't we see how they're getting on? Oh, yep, no, they're saying the same shit. Damn it. Come to take the measure of our friendly neighborhood merchants. They're a bold lot, that much is plain. If the Imperials found out they were peddling their wares to the Resistance, they would be lucky to escape with their lives. 'Tis a gamble, aye, and I admire their courage, but their motives could hardly be said to be altruistic. Ah, here you are. I've been looking all over for you. We finished discussing our proposal and are ready to receive you at the back of the tent. I've sent someone to fetch Y'shtola and Kryal, so if you'd like to follow me. Sorry to have kept you waiting, but matters such as these demand due deliberation. We'll begin once the others arrive.
Thank you all for waiting. We have reached a consensus. I, Conrad Kemp, do hereby accept the Eorzean Alliance's proposal. You must understand, however, that our cooperation comes with certain caveats.
Those caveats being...
I take no joy in this, just so you know. Were it within my power, I'd offer you more assistance. But the Resistance is far more fragmented than you realize. The men and women in my care belong to but one of many factions. Simply put, I can only speak for the people of Rhalgr's Reach. Now, I have every intention of appealing to the others, and I expect many will agree. But it will take time, and I cannot guarantee universal support.
Understood. I shall see that the Alliance is under no misapprehensions as to your position.
Much obliged. But that's not the whole of it. As you can imagine, the loss of those who cast their lot with the Griffin left us short on numbers. Some of our most trusted veterans died at the wall, and we've had to fill their posts with the young and inexperienced. Frankly, everything's in a right bloody mess.
Oh, we'd be more than happy to help you get back on your feet. If we're going to work together, we'll be doing ourselves a favor.
Well, there's no shortage of work to be done, that's for sure. We're in dire need of new blood, too.
Y'shtola and I could lend a hand in the infirmary. From what I saw, they could do with a few more healers.
Very well. I, for my part, shall return to the Rising Stones. I'm certain there are others among the Scions who would welcome the opportunity to fight for Alamegan liberation.
Is there anything else we can do to help?
The war for Alamegan liberation, now officially endorsed by the Warrior of Light himself.
I had something else in mind for you lot. Monargo and Mefred will tell you more.
Understood. We won't let you down.
What a relief for a moment there. I really wasn't sure which way it was going to go. Yeah, as if there were any doubt. Now that we've dealt with the formalities, we can get to work. I'm glad you're with us, friend. Pinch me if I'm dreaming, because I swear it's finally happening. The whole of Eorzea committed it at last to the liberation of Alamigo. Right then, Nago and Mifrid are our keepers. Knowing naught of what they require, one task is as good as the other. Make your choice, Arntel. So, yep, it's already unlocked. So, two things. A, I've reached the point where I'm swapping the monk. Would you look at that? Specifically, it was reading the plaque in front of the statue. And, as stated prior, this is about where I'm going to end things. I wasn't really planning on streaming overly long tonight, and my ability to read words is rapidly diminishing. But we got through the end of Heavensward. We saw Omega and Shinryu duke it out in the skies, and I will likely be live Saturday night. Probably not tomorrow. Tomorrow is extremely unlikely, but you never know. But at any rate, I will be back again another time. And until I am live again, have a good one, all.